everyone. This is another episode of AI Chronicles, and I'm not going to follow my usual theme, so I'm just going to get into the conversation with my friend here, Anup, who's the founder of a startup called VideoDB. But I'm going to let you, Anup, continue your introduction.
Hey, thank you, Sonam, for having me. It's great to be with you here. So, yeah, I'm Anup. I grew up in India, moved to the States for my MBA, and have been in the startup world, starting companies, consulting with tech companies. And my main interest is product design and
Mhm.
looking at innovative trends and then translating them into really easy to use, interactive, and very good UX type of products. And the company that I work on right now is called VideoDB. We are basically transforming the video files into data that
Mhm.
LLMs can easily search, personalize, and finally stream. So the idea is, how do you make any LLM work with video as easily as it currently works with text? So that's the broad mission. We have been working on this for almost 6+ months. We're at a pre-seed stage, and yeah, excited to build it out and see what people build on top of VideoDB.
Nice, very nice. So, product design, and when I saw your LinkedIn profile, I was amazed at what your journey was like. So, why don't you walk us through your journey from graduating with an electronics and telecommunication degree to working in product management and now a founder of your company? So, that's a
Right.
very, I feel like it's a lot of hops.
Right. I think the core theme of my entrepreneurial journey has been that I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My dad is
Uh-huh.
an entrepreneur. He has a real estate business. So I grew up with entrepreneurship, discussing that. And that was somewhat encouraged in my house that, hey, you don't have to be part of the family business, but it would be great if you thought about entrepreneurship, think about creating what you want. So that has been my orientation of sorts. And I was always a kid who had some project going on. So some sort of a hobby project or art project or
Mhm.
electronics was something that I got interested in at a very early age, like building mini robots and stuff like that. So it felt natural to kind of pursue an engineering degree there. And so that's what I did. I did it from College of Engineering, Pune, and that is where I was for undergrad. And at that time, my first step into entrepreneurship was essentially building self-guided meditation apps for the iPhone, which was back in 2008 and 9 when the App Store for the iPhone had just released.
Uh-huh.
One of my friends in Pune started taking, so Stanford had an online course at that time of Aura on iPhone programming. And then he started teaching himself iPhone, and he's like, man, this seems like the next big platform we should think about building. And we were in school, right? So I said, okay, I always was into meditation. And the first, so he was doing the coding. I was like, somebody needs to do product design and learn all of that. So we actually
Mhm.
released a bunch of self-guided meditation apps. And that was my introduction to product design. We did that for 2 years, and then I realized that I was out of ideas. Like there are only so many types of meditation things that you can build. Right? So I was out of ideas, and then I decided to. We turned that into a iPhone app development company, services company, which my
Mhm.
friend managed, and I moved to the US for my MBA with the goal of uh, doing understanding product design in more detail, and then
Mhm.
also thinking about startups and tech startups. So uh,
Got it.
one interesting experience that for the 2 years during the MBA, I was interning at an innovation consulting firm where that was sort of the deeper dive in product, like understanding technology trends, societal trends, and then building
Mm.
innovative products. So that was a deep dive.
Nice. You're from Pune? I did not know
Uh,
that. I'm from
yeah,
Nagpur.
Yes. That's pretty incredible. Yeah, I have a aunt and cousins who live in Nagpur, so I haven't been there often,
Nice.
but yeah,
Yeah.
Nagpur is great.
Yeah, yeah. My family and I, we lived in Pune for a year when I was in eighth grade. My dad was working there.
Right.
That was the only time I've ever lived in Pune, and I feel like
Yeah.
we have this Pune versus Nagpur thing that goes on in the background.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Not gonna get
Yeah.
into that. I love my
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, I think that is we can do that offline.
Yeah, yeah. That's something else. Yes.
Yeah.
And arts. You also mentioned arts. You still do it?
Yeah, I mean, especially with AI, I have been exploring a lot of AI art
Hmm,
in terms of my house is now covered with a bunch of AI prints that I made, and
okay.
it has been a really fun exploration to
Interesting.
see the what kind of themes that you want to bring. So I think I'm at a stage where I am past buying art for the house. I just now create
You just
art for the
create
house.
it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
create it.
Nice.
So that has been pretty interesting, learning about the different AI softwares, how you now then take that to printing and upscaling it and
Hmm.
all of that. So it has been nice, and it has been a nice, delightful thing for my friends and family. Like recently, I converted the drawings that my niece made into a proper storybook using AI and gifted. So that was a pretty
Ooh.
cute gift. Yeah.
I'm gonna steal your idea because my nieces make like thousands of drawings, and when they don't want it, they give it to me.
Yeah.
But might as well, I can create the storybook and give their drawings back to them.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really cute. My
Nice.
niece really enjoyed it, and then she showed it to her friends and stuff. So it was
Okay,
nice.
another topic for offline chat. I want to know how
Yeah.
you did that. It sounds very
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. No, definitely. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
awesome. Okay. So, you have such a vast background and you built apps and worked in different consultancies and did your MBA too. So, like, how do you feel to be a founder in such a competitive space, especially in San Francisco?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty the competition is always there. What I think gives me a little bit of confidence is especially in this sector of video. I have been active in the sector with some really unique insights that I have had while working through it. So the unique insights I think are the main differentiator rather
Mm-hmm.
than looking at competition. And if you trust the instincts that you have around societal trends, user experience, and technology trends. And then if you have genuinely found insights on certain problems, I think that gives me a little bit of confidence to really become a founder or pursuing my idea. So I think that gives me the belief
Mm.
to actually pursue it because I think my insights are unique and then my instincts are unique. So,
Yeah, yeah. Insights and instincts, double eyes. Got it.
instincts. Yes.
Yeah. Nice. So you have been part of this fellowship called On Deck Fellowship. Could you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about it?
Yeah, on deck, the best way to think about on deck is like a sort of a membership
Mm-hmm.
for it has changed what it is in a number of ways over the years. But I think the best way to think about it is to meet creative people who are looking to start a company or have already started a company. And it is just a great membership club for them where they can share ideas, where they can share their experiences, they can share resources, right? And mostly the benefit I got, I was a part of OnDeck way earlier. So today they might have changed the nature of their program. But I really got a few good friends out of it and friends who are founders or who started something soon after OnDeck. And where they have helped me is more like a support group, right? Like
Starter
founders,
founder
yeah,
support group.
it is a
Nice.
founder support group, right? So because the challenges of being a founder are very unique and there are very few of my other friends who understand it. But these friends basically understand all of those challenges. So it has been great. So I would say On Deck is a really great membership sort of club where not only do they give you guidance on how to form companies, explore your ideas, but then they give you a really good network of people that you can actually start those companies in, right? Or
Mm,
you can hire people from there, right? So
got
that
it.
has been great in terms of uh, the experience. So shout out to On Deck. I think if people are thinking
Nice.
about starting a
Yeah,
company, they should definitely explore On Deck.
definitely, definitely. I'll definitely share it with
Yeah.
my future startup founder friends. Uh,
Yes.
so, like, is it like paid fellowship, or like they pay you or you pay them, something like that?
So when I did it, they had a nominal fee, but they were offering very generous scholarships as well.
Ah,
So that in a way, capital is not really money is not really a barrier to be part of
okay.
that network, as long as you have a idea or you have a willingness to be a good member of that community. I
Mhm.
think it was pretty great. And what I liked about that community is that it was very service oriented. It was more like how do you offer value versus thinking about extracting value or taking value. So everybody came in with the idea to help others. I may or may not be helped myself, but let me help others, and that sort of created a nice
It's
thing.
kind of
So
like a
yeah,
community. Okay.
yeah,
Pretty
it's like
good.
a community. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think today they are experimenting with different pricing structures. I think the newest, and they do admit people in cohorts because
Mm,
it's just easy to have some sort of programming, connection, networking events for that particular week or a month, right? So that's how they do it, and usually depends on the pricing. Right? Like
yeah.
it really depends on how they are experimenting, but it's usually not that expensive. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a
Mhm.
completely random question,
Yeah.
but can you believe it is already end of September? See, I told you, I promised a random
Uh,
question.
yeah. It is actually, I can't believe it that it is the end of September.
Yeah, we just celebrated New Year's like
It
2 days
actually
ago.
feels that. Yeah. It exactly feels that, right? And it is crazy how quickly time passes, right? And
It's
you're
like warp.
absolutely, yep. It's like it's genuinely a time warp,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to sometimes take a pause and think about all the things you have done or all the
Yes.
great good and bad things have happened because everything feels like a warp, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment
Uh,
you pause to just reflect like what happened, it will be, October.
right.
Uh,
Right.
but and the stores like the grocery stores or the departmental stores don't help. They're already selling Halloween things. Like, come
Yes.
on, it's just September. Give it a rest.
Yeah, I think
But
the when the pumpkin spice latte made
oh,
comeback, I was like, okay, we are really in fall
yeah,
now.
we are in fall. Yeah, and then we'll see a lot of pumpkins outside the
Right,
house.
right, right.
Um, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
Halloween is coming soon, and that like I couldn't stop myself from bringing up this horror topic
yeah,
that
yeah.
is U.S. immigration. It is a horror
Yes,
topic. I can
yes,
personally attest to that.
yes, and I
So
can attest
you
to that too.
see exactly. I know you would understand this. So,
Yeah.
with all the immigration horror that follows us,
Mhm.
what is it easy or was it easy to establish a company in the USA given the immigration status?
Yeah. And I think the joke is that probably immigration is an immigrant's Halloween.
Yeah,
It's
that is
our
a very good one.
yeah, that is our Halloween. But I would say compared to most people, it has been easy to start a company.
Hmm.
But I would like to say what really matters is the legal counsel that you have,
Yeah.
and how uh, knowledgeable they are with working with startup founders, because if
Hmm.
you want to start a company as a founder, there are multiple options available. Like the Owen visa is there. There is an entrepreneurship parole, I think it is called. I don't
And
know
something new
exact.
came
Yeah,
out this year too, right?
right,
Very
right,
friendly for founders who are not US
correct.
citizens. Got
Correct,
it.
correct. So it's a temporary parole where basically you can set up the company, work on it for a couple of years, and then figure out your immigration status. So that I don't know the details of it, but there are
Hmm.
multiple options, and the legal
Okay.
counsel, having a good legal counsel is a big piece of unraveling that puzzle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my advice to friends who are thinking of doing it is always to chat with uh, like a lawyer who has worked with startups before, because
Ah, that
the
makes
larger
sense.
companies who work with employees have to operate in a very different way
Hmm.
rather than startup founders. So that's the my advice is that don't rely on friends, just but definitely consult
A
startup
legal
lawyer.
counsel.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like, so you gave suggestions like the legal counsel is like the main thing, especially if you're trying to
Mhm.
open a startup. So
Right.
did you have to navigate your career choices at all to like align with the immigration rules?
So there were a lot of, I would say, wrong beliefs that were there even in my B school about whether you can actually start a company, or if you start a company, can you get a H1 visa through that company, right? So that was
Yeah.
a big question that was there, and turns out that you can. There are certain legal, not hurdles, but legal parameters that you need to adhere to, which the lawyer will let you know. And then it is possible. So I was able to actually start a company even when we had raised very little capital. I was able to get an H1B through that, which was valid. And then we basically moved.
Which was
Then,
valid.
yeah, which was valid, which was completely okay. And then we moved. So right now I'm on an Owen visa
Hmm.
and thinking of applying for a green card early next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
and Oven has been more flexible in the sense that it is flexible that I can work with multiple companies. I
Mm-hmm.
can have a little bit of more flexibility on my time schedule, on my pay schedule, and all of that compared to an H1B. So that I think is great. So at Oven is usually the more recommended visa for founders if that's the route you're
Founders.
going, or just
Yeah.
in immigrants, right? The only tough thing there is you have to create a lot of documentation, supporting documentation for that Oven. So it is slightly harder to get, but it is nothing that if you prepare for say 3 to 6 months, you can definitely.
Yeah.
Most people qualify for it. So
Yeah. Plus, if you have the right legal counsel, I'm sure they will guide you in the
right,
best way. It's
right,
kind of like if you have a good PhD advisor, your PhD will be golden. Otherwise, it will suck. Ah, I got
correct.
lucky in that case.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
okay. So, I'm curious, like I know you mentioned earlier that your family background comes from entrepreneurship and all that, and that was already like a driving force for you to start the company.
Right.
But I'm curious, what was your motivation behind starting VideoDB?
Yeah, so the motivation for starting VideoDB, so I've always liked the video and podcasting space in general because that is how I personally like to learn. So, like learning from YouTube, learning from online courses, right? It is just a
Hmm.
faster way of learning from an expert rather than reading books, which tends to take 6 months to a year to get published, right? So by the time it publishes, the knowledge is slightly outdated. So
Ah.
I've always enjoyed that piece.
Hmm.
So me and my current co-founder, we started off by building a very easy to use uh, video editor
Hmm.
for especially informational content. So podcast can be one, webinars can be the other form of informational content, panel discussions, right? So informational content. And the idea there was we are using tools meant for movies that has a lot of scenes and all of that
Hmm.
to edit. podcast, which is informational content. So what if there was a new kind of an editor only for informational content? So that's what we started off. We used a lot of AI elements to take out stuff like filler words and all of that. And when we
Hmm.
scaled it to tens of thousands of customers, we realized that the cloud costs associated with creating so many videos, managing so many videos was very high, and it was cost prohibitive. Like we wouldn't really be able to make a profit no matter how much capital we raised. So then we went deep into the cloud infrastructure of how videos are created, how they're managed in the cloud, and figured out an innovative solution where we could reduce the cost at the same time make videos more interactive. And the approach that we took was like transforming these video files into data. So just like a database transforms CSV files into a database that is easy to search, it is easy
Hmm.
to query, it is easy
Like a
to
vector
stream that data.
database.
Yeah, yeah. So essentially, that is what we sort of built primarily for video. So like VideoDB is basically building a product that we ourselves wanted to use. So
Hmm.
when we are
That's
building the
always a
video
big thing.
editor, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's always a good sort of a thing to build because you know the problem very accurately, and now you
Right.
can share it with the world. Yeah.
So if I were to use VideoDB right now, will I get that video editing function? Because I'm going to edit our video anyway, so might as
Yeah.
well just use your tool.
Yeah, so we are releasing. So VideoDB right now doesn't really have a lot of front-facing components. So the video editor is a user-facing component, right? But we are now
Mm.
open sourcing all these
Oh,
front-facing components as well,
sorry.
because we want everybody, right? Even podcasters like you who are just starting, as well as podcasters who are more established and have a big fan following to use products on top of VideoDB. So we are open sourcing it. So hopefully in the next 3 months or so, you'll be able to use the front end of it, which
Oh,
is open source, and then edit
nice.
your podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'd love to, especially if I can
yeah,
take out the filler words, because I say a lot of and ahs, blah, blah.
yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
uh, this interview, I do the same thing. So I'm very sure that it will be very useful for this
yes.
interview in particular.
Nice, nice. So moving on, and generative AI, of course, no conversation goes without generative AI, especially in the Bay
Mhm.
Area.
Right.
So what do you think, especially with you, since you have worked with video data as well, so
Mhm.
what do you think about multimodal AI? Is it trending, going in the right direction? And if it is going in the right direction, how do you define right direction? It's very
Right.
subjective.
Yeah, and I think it's a great question, and it's always good with the technology changing so fast. The honest answer is I don't really know, but I have an idea, like a thesis, right?
Yeah.
So that's the honest answer. I think AI is changing so quickly, the field of AI, Gen AI, that I think almost the real honest answer is I don't know. But what I think the next stage definitely is of multimodal data, multimodal experiences, multimodal content. Because today, especially all LLMs are mostly working with text. Right, Gemini and GPT-v4 are sort of the early ideas of what a
Mm-hmm.
multimodal model can look like. But even these, they just describe the image and output text, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so multimodality, I think that will change where you will have so today multimodal usually means multimodal input and not really multimodal output, right?
Mm-hmm.
Text to video are generating only one type of modality, right? They input text or input an image and output video. But I think where we are moving towards is truly multimodal models where they can take an input and then they can output video in multimodal forms as well. And I think multimodal will also play a very big part in terms of data preparation. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, like if you discount the synthetic data, people are saying that we are reaching the ends of the text tokens available on the web for training. So we
Oh my
are
God.
So that is something I like. Don't really know the exact numbers, but most experts predict that we will run out of the amount of human-generated text data very soon for the next model.
Interesting.
And then the only option that we have is multimodal, right? So a video has a lot more information than just the text, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this video, there are multiple senses. So sensor data will come in, video data will come in, and then we will go towards multimodality. So yeah, I mean, multimodal, I think, is both for me. I think the direction we are going in is multimodal input as well as multimodal output, and the
Mm-hmm.
data on which these models are trained itself becomes multimodal, which I think is a
Yeah.
very exciting phase. And we will start seeing multimodal models in early 2025 or Q2 of
Yeah.
2025. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Multimodal AI definitely has a lot of potential. And I can see like with all the newer models coming up, they're trying
Right.
to be or produce more multimodal models. Multimodal models. Okay.
Yeah. It's a tongue twister.
Yes, yes, definitely. Cool. Okay, so few weeks back, you posted a blog on why AI has a major blind spot. I'll be honest, I didn't read the entire blog completely, but I wanted to talk about it. And if you
Yeah.
can like briefly tell us like what is the major blind spot with AI when it comes to video data?
Right. The best way to think about it is today, any of your chat assistant like ChatGPT or whatever you use, you can ask it to say summarize a blog and it will do a good job,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm.
You can ask it to change the an email, it will change it and edit it and give you the output. But if you ask it if you to show you highlights of last night's football game or baseball game, it can't
Mm-hmm.
really do it, right? So basically, AI is great with text, but simple requests. So highlights, show me highlights of last night's game would be one. Or maybe you have a Ring camera and one of your packages was damaged and you just wanted to see, hey, just show me in the last week when the packages were delivered. Your AI assistant can't really do that.
Yeah.
And the gap of all of this is the underlying video infrastructure, right?
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
the underlying video infrastructure today is based on files. Like even say on our iPhones, right? If you wanted to show me a video, what do? You go to the date,
Good.
you
Yeah.
will show me a video, then you will scrub through it and then show me that, okay, this is what I want you to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, it's still a file-based system. It is not dynamic, right? So you had to again navigate to a particular file, then had to navigate to a timestamp in that file, and
Yeah.
then sort of do it. And now we are, and the reason why this is because these formats, which are usually files, are like an MP4, AVI. There are various
Mm-hmm.
formats, and MP4 is sort of the most popular now, right?
Yeah.
And they were created for a very specific purpose, which was viewing, right? So laid back viewing. You're watching a movie, right, on a couch from A to B, right? So they're made for that. They were not really made for queries and dynamic interactivity. They weren't
Mm,
made to, and because of that format, what happens is we are now forcing the AI to also watch the video like humans
yeah.
do, right? So,
Exactly.
hey, scan it, which itself is sort of counterintuitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today, you wouldn't, like in case of data, you wouldn't open a CSV file and go to that row or a column and then tell me about it. You would just use a database, which
Mm-hmm.
basically, instead of sequential access, a database has a random dynamic access, right?
Right.
So the dynamic access in videos is missing today,
Aha. Okay.
and that is sort of the missing spot, right? And what happens is in today's world, because these are files that are optimized for viewing, let's take the example of show me last night football games highlights, right? So what AI has to do is first it has to figure out what are the highlights of, the 2 hour game yesterday. Then it
Mm-hmm.
has to figure out the spots which it thinks are interesting. It has to cut them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then it has to compile them, and then stream them. So now what
Mm-hmm.
has happened is, assume that it found 5 parts that are interesting. Now, of the 2 hour file, you have created 5 different mini clips,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now you have to the AI has to bear the cost of creating those clips. It is very slow to create those
Yeah.
clips. Compilation is another sixth new file that is created, and then finally it is streamed, right? So it's very slow. So the blind spot of AI is basically that as long as there is a file system at the back end, AI will not really be able to search, uh, customize, summarize video as easily as it does text. So AI needs
Mm-hmm.
a sort of a database like approach to video. And
Mm-hmm.
that is what we are trying. So we call this as video as data, which we think is the next new category of products, right? So just like vector databases were needed for storing embeddings in an AI world, I think AI is going to slowly transform almost the entire cloud infra stack one by one. And where we are focusing on is the video
Video
aspect.
part.
Yeah,
Got it. Got it.
yeah,
That
yeah,
that was good. Okay, I did not think about that much in detail when it comes to in my defense, I did not
yeah.
work very much with video data before. It was mostly like, text through and through. But yeah,
Nice.
more and more like video tools are coming up. So I think it's especially with multimodal AI, I'm sure you will see
Nice.
more applications. Awesome. Okay, I
Yeah.
have ran out all
Mm.
of questions for you.
Yeah.
So I'll ask a non-technical question.
Yes.
My non-technical question is, I know that you live in the city, so do you have any
Yes.
favorite spots? Like, and me being me, I'll ask you if you have a favorite coffee shop, especially if you drink
Yeah.
coffee, or
Yeah.
restaurants, or, sunset viewpoints. Do share.
Y- Yeah, I think I really enjoy. Like, I have started going to. I live in the downtown area of the city, so most of my shops are here. There is this cafe called Sana Cafe, which
Sana
is
Cafe, yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it is a Yemeni cafe. And what I like about them is, they're open till late.
yeah.
So
10 p.m.
if I work there, I can work till late, or just, so I like that part well. And their baklava and a couple of really Yemeni coffee are, so that is one that I'm recently enjoying. So that's a favorite
Nice.
cafe. And another favorite thing of mine is to just walk around the Embarcadero. Like, it's
Oh,
beautiful in the evening,
yeah.
and now they have cleaned it up as well, so you
Oh,
don't have any. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, so Embarcadero, walks around the Embarcadero, sunsets are there, and Sana are two of my
two
indulgences right
of
now.
Nice, nice. Very cool. Yeah, Sana,
Yeah,
it's been a long time I've gone there. I usually just go to that Capital One Cafe
yeah,
in near Montgomery. But
that
yeah,
also is good. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that it stays open only till 6 p.m. and
yeah,
closes on weekend. Mm.
yeah. So Sana
Anywho,
is
yeah,
something that, yeah, is a really nice one. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Stays open till 10. We need such places
yeah,
in the city. But
yeah,
yeah. Anyhow, this was a great conversation. I loved our chat today. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, your questions, and favorite spots.
yeah. No, thank you so much. It was a great conversation. Thank you for having me.